Oh. Hello.
Hello.
Bum, 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 bum. Welcome to BookStara. Bum, 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 bum. Good guys get to murder. Yeah.
Yay.
Holding her book.
I was just looking back over the Discord conversation.
Yes.
Good. You get to.
I'm excited. I think this is going to be very interesting.
Yeah, we definitely have some varied opinions about this one.
I'm just going to read.
We do, which is fun.
We are live. Come discuss. Hello. All right. We have quite a few in the book club. I get a notification that we're going to tag over 100 people if I send it to everyone.
Oh, dang.
Hey.
That's awesome.
Hello, Alicia. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Stacey. Hi, Nat.
Hey, Natalie.
I was just saying to the girls, I am repping BookStara, but it's -1 outside, so I'm cold and wearing a jumper. So it's
And
there
I'm
in
not
spirit.
I'm staying true to my
I read
normal.
yesterday.
Yeah.
We're talented. Oh my gosh. Hello.
Hi.
How is everyone?
I've been missing you two.
Yes,
I've missed
same.
you two both.
Yes, very much so.
Yes.
Oh,
That's
the
freezing.
-1.
That's the temperature of freezing.
It's the below freezing.
Or
Okay, so that would
31?
be 31 or 30.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yes.
Yeah, that's cold.
It's not warm. It's not
No.
warm.
Mm-mm.
Oh yes.
Mm-mm.
How are your travels?
Oh, yes.
They were good. I had a good time. It didn't feel like a regular vacation though, you know?
Mm.
So, I was saying, I don't remember who I was talking to, but like growing up, Mom and I traveled on holidays, like, because Mom would only take work off when she got work off through like, holiday breaks and stuff. And so we always traveled. Christmas time we traveled. Like it was always during the holidays that we traveled. And traveling for us was getting away from everybody. And this trip was going to everybody, spending the whole month with other people, which was great. It was wonderful. And I loved like spending time with people and getting to visit them and do all kinds of things, but it didn't feel like a vacation, if that makes sense.
Mm. Yeah.
So it was wonderful, but it was exhausting. And I came back and I'm like, I kind of need a vacation.
For your vacation. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I need
It's
like,
like
some pages, Mom.
you go for your holiday for however long, and however long that is, you then have to take a staycation to recover from that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it was fun and I did a lot of great things, but a lot of it was just visiting. Like there was just a lot of visiting that I did on this trip. So
And a lot of driving. Like
yes.
There was a lot of movement.
Well, and the funny thing is like I love road trips, but it didn't feel like a traditional road trip where I kind of meander along the way and I get where I get and I get to stop along the way and see a lot of things. It was like gotta get to this stop. Yeah. And so it was less road trip than I anticipated it being. You know what I mean?
So I read this last month.
Yes, depressing, isn't it?
Absolutely. Wow, was very surprised.
Everybody thinks it's gonna be a romance.
I'm glad that your road trip didn't go like this road trip.
Oh my gosh.
Every time I hear somebody's picking that up, I always warn them. I'm like, it's not what you think it is.
It's not a romance.
I mean,
that's funny.
Yeah.
It kind of is, but I mean, it's not.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
It's a dramatic and heavy romance.
I didn't realize what the second chance. So it's a second chance romance. I didn't realize what had stemmed from that, and if I had have known going in, I probably wouldn't have picked it up because there are some things that I just cannot vibe with. Like no trigger warnings for me needed, but there's just some things that I'm like, No, you can't come back. And yeah, if I had known a little bit more context, I don't think I would have picked it up. I still loved it, and I think Beth O'Leary handled it excellently, and I trust their writing because I've loved The Switch and the Flat Share, but it is not The Switch or the Flat Share. No. It is a whole other kettle of fish. But I'm glad your road trip was a lot more successful than this.
It was a safe road trip. Nothing happened on the whole trip, which was great. I love that kind of trip. And it was really good. And I did see a lot of things that I wanted to see, but I just did so much more visiting than actually like touristy fun road trip things or traveling things. And that's great. But since I was already socially worn out from the school year, it was like, why did I pick a social a month of social behavior? It was still great though. Yeah.
Rest.
Oh yeah, and then as fun as it was to vlog, I shouldn't have vlogged because it felt like work. It didn't feel like I got much of a break. But that was my fault because I was having so much fun vlogging in June. So
yeah. And then it
goes
how it goes.
It goes how it goes.
You can't talk Celsius to me. Can I just talk dirty and start?
Yes.
That's how I felt when I took my daughter to Universal in June. I needed a vacation from my vacation. Glad you enjoyed seeing your family, though.
Thank you. I did. I had a great time with family and friends. Speaking of friends, meeting Margaret. And Natalie. Natalie's here too. So I met both Margaret and Natalie.
That's so cool.
It was wonderful. It was such a blast.
I do just also want to apologize if you can hear my grandpa laughing.
Oh yeah, we could.
Okay.
It was great.
Awesome. Yeah. But yeah, Amy, I love you, and you're a nutter, and I love you.
I don't understand what these letters are. Will somebody help me?
The hardest reading challenge you'll ever do. Yeah, Shell was kind of pissed at me.
I believe Amanda is the instigator for this chaos.
How have I not seen this yet? Oh, jeez.
It's on QWERTY's channel, and it's like, it is in depth. It is a challenge. I'm not doing it because, unlike some people, I'm already dying with my challenges.
Oh my gosh.
Margaret's doing it too, so she didn't help. And then I saw someone else doing it. Another booktuber I follow was doing it, and I'm like,
there's quite a few that have popped up. Yeah.
How much time?
I'm so excited.
What is it? I want to know.
It's the hardest reading challenge you'll ever do.
Okay, I got that part.
So you can cater it to make it your level of reading. So Amy's doubling up, where Amanda's not.
So that's 140 something books for her.
Yeah. In a year. And the initial timeline is from the 7th of July to the 6th of July next year.
You have
but I feel like if you're starting it late, you should be able to set your own.
I mean, she's not going to make anybody stop. Like, she's not going to make anybody. I think she just asks us to submit things. Did she ask us to submit things? I don't remember. I haven't submitted anything, so. But she made a beautiful spreadsheet. So one of the hard things for me is going to be, mine's 140 prompts. One of the hard things for me is you have to read a new release every month for the whole challenge in that same month. And I did it in July. I'm going to do it in August, but that's a hard thing for me to do.
Yeah.
And then the reading 500-page book in one day, which I'm going to use. I'm going to supplement with audiobooks. So I'll read physically because I'm faster at reading physically, but because I'm not a fast audiobook listener. But when I'm doing other things like going to the bathroom, I'll listen to it.
Couldn't you read manga and graphic novels count, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Because I do the Full Metal Alchemist 3-in-1 edition. They were over 500 pages each, and I fly through those.
She had some limitations, so I have to go back and look and see what her limitations with graphic novel mangas were when it came to that.
reading new books when I get them. I'll see myself out.
I know, I'm the same way. The same way. So that's going to be a challenge. It's like I couldn't even use Blackbird Oracle for it because I was like, oh, well, I'm reading Blackbird Oracle. But no, that was from July. I'm reading it in August. So I did listen to an audiobook that was brand new, and it was great. But like, will I be able to keep that up every month?
I think they could probably make, like, I've watched someone, I can't remember who it was, and they made some of it, they adapted it to just fit for their reading because they knew that they would not be able to do it with the current standard. So like for me, I'd say read the book in the following month for the new releases. So then you actually have time to be able to accrue it as well. Yeah. Because what if you're planning to read this, but then you put your library hold on, but then all of a sudden they're holding it and you don't actually get it? Like, that's not your fault.
Right. Yeah. So I
mean, that would probably,
yeah. I think that she's pretty flexible. You know, it's really how we all decide to do it on our own. Yeah. But I think the challenge is to try and challenge yourself. And so because 100%. It is the hardest reading challenge you'll ever do. So yeah.
You're nutters. What was this one? Nat hasn't watched that video yet, but they have to do that tonight. I didn't calculate counting different letters twice, which they saw you do, so now they have to.
Oh, you know, so here's the thing. I was going to do that and like calculate one book for like 4 different prompts, but I've since decided that I'm probably just going to do 2 prompts per book.
That's a good.
You can use one. Like I figured out the book that the new release that I read in July called it was the new Kate Quinn one. Whoa, the new Kate Quinn one. It was the Briar Club. That would have worked for 4 prompts. So like I could technically make it work for a whole bunch of things, but I think I'm going to try and make it an actual challenge.
2 spreadsheets. One of which is like I'm going to apply this to as many things as humanly possible side. And then I'm actually attempting to keep this just to the 2 books. So then when you're getting closer, you can see what you have covered. And if there's something else that you can swap out for other prompts instead, you've got your backup and you've still kept track of everything that would fit.
Yes, so I do have, she created 2 spreadsheets. The spreadsheet where you calculate all your stuff and you keep it all your stuff on the beautiful spreadsheet. Then she has the other one where it's like the planning spreadsheet, and I'm keeping the prompts that work for multiple ones on there so that I can come back to it later if I need to.
Yeah. That sounds like a plan. Margaret finds the 500-page book in a day a daunting one, and then reading them when you get them, can do it as part of a mix. Very nice. Okay, I was intrigued, but 500 pages book one in one day? Yeah, I'm out. Oh, 30 days from release.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Okay.
My brain.
But that means you have to have read it by August 16th. Like, not, you've already got that one covered.
Okay, so 30 days, which is good because the book that I'm getting in August doesn't come out till August 25th. But I'm planning on reading it that last weekend of August anyways, and it's a little romance, so it shouldn't take that long. But Cubs and campfires. So
that sounds adorable.
Yeah. But yes, that's great to know, Margaret, because I might need that in the future.
I was working on the assumption of 2 max per book too, so I'll continue then if you're doing it. Social pressure, it works.
I thought that you could use as many purples as you wanted to, is what I assumed, but yeah, I've decided to.
I remember Amanda talking about that. If it was purple, you could apply it to any of the other purples and one other one. Like if it's the purples are free range. You can, if it's purple, you can put in one that you've read that fits to every other purple. Yes. But you can also include it for one white one as well.
One white one, yeah. That was my assumption, is that you could use it for as many purples as it works for, so that a book could conceivably work for a whole bunch of prompts. But then I was like, is that make it a really hard reading challenge then if I'm just cheating the system?
You're utilizing it to its potential.
Yes, I'm being clever.
Margaret hadn't even cracked open the planner tab. They've gone down the road of many pieces of binder paper.
Oh, that's perfect.
So you said
Alright.
Shell is upset with you about this?
She wasn't mad at me. But she was just like, really?
Another one.
Because I didn't get to do I only did one date so far for Book Love is Blind. I just didn't have time, and I was with other people during most of my trips, so I didn't have a lot of me time and a lot of free time to just go do some dates during. And I kind of thought I would have more time in July, and I didn't. So I haven't done that yet. And she's like, "There's so many projects. You're doing your 45 before 45, and you're doing this, and you're doing that, and you do this." And I'm like, "Yeah, so." And I told her, I said, "Let's just focus on my successes, not my failures."
Okay. I need you to come to me when you need me and be like, right, I have this book. I need you to apply it to this, and this challenge. Make it work, please.
That was good. I mean, it's been working out so far. Like the August release ended up having recipes in it, and one of the challenges is to
that's
read
a
book that
hard
has
one.
recipes, and you have to cook. But it turned out great because I just bought the book today from Costco because it was cheap, and it has recipes in it. So I just have to make a couple of those recipes, and it's done. And I wasn't even expecting that. It was just my July release, so it was like some things are just falling into my lap. They're just meant to be.
Nice.
Yeah.
You aren't vlogging this project, are you, though?
I'm adding it to my daily vlogs that I'm doing. I'm not vlogging it separately.
Cool. Because I think that's just going to be an extra bit. So, with that,
sorry, y'all. I just bogarted the whole thing.
yeah, and then I just hurt my grandpa.
Yeah, so cute.
He's so sweet. Shall we?
Oh yeah. We should probably talk
Yes.
about the book we're here to talk about.
I'm gonna have to watch this back.
It's good stuff. Yeah.
The thing is, my old man gives me so much joy and happiness, and so I don't often get to share it with other people, but just like knowing that this is bye, I love you. See you in the servo. And his Steph is a fucking doorpost. So aside from that, general rating thoughts. How did we vibe with it? Danielle, do you want to start?
Oh, I
What
gave
do we
it
think?
5 stars, you guys.
I know.
5 sparkly little stars.
Sparkle, sparkle, sparkle.
I
Very
gave it
nice.
3.75 stars.
I gave it 4.
Okay.
I
This is so fun.
don't know if I'd posted anywhere. It was very close to being a 3.5.
Okay.
So.
And you know what? The ending was what brought it down and then a little bit up again for me.
Yeah. I think you and I had a quite similar reading experience. Mama Shaza gave it 5. Nat gave it 5. Stacey gave it 3. Amber gave it a 4. Really enjoyed it. Mama Shaza couldn't put it down. 4 stars for Leanna. It was nice change of pace reading this after the Greenbone saga, but 3 stars.
No kidding.
Very
Yeah.
It was very chill after that, for sure. For sure.
I'd be curious. Maybe should I put in like the general spoilers, just do a poll of ratings. And so then we can sort of see what the average for the BookStara group was.
Ooh,
Should that be something
cool.
we're interested in?
Yeah.
But 3.75, do I put half stars or just ask to round up or round down depending? Because that's, if Sandy and you both gave it a 3.75, you'd probably round up to a 4 star, but then that's not really
accurate.
reflective.
I might round down to a 3.5.
Let me know if we want to do half stars.
Danielle's face.
I'm just curious because it seems to be so varied. No one seemed to hate it.
No. I don't
No
think
one
so.
seemed to
Casey
give
gave
it
it
below a
2.
3.
Who gave it
Who
to?
what?
Casey.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I
Maybe
think I remember
someone
that.
really didn't enjoy it. All right, everyone. We were curious to find the average rating for those who have read Good Girls Guide to Murder. I've done half stars. So
Yeah, in case you said, oh, sorry, go ahead, Paige.
you keep going. I'm just typing out my brain.
I finished this on the 8th. It has taken me a moment to decide what I thought. I ended up giving it 2 stars. I really did enjoy the whodunit aspect of the story. I'm very into mysteries with twists and turns up until the end. The reason it got 2 stars is because the story dragged for me due to the writing
Interesting.
style. Also, I did not like Pip. I will
That's fair.
say I am interested to see how this series continues in book 2.
Yeah. Interesting.
Very.
All right.
Tara
do-
Tara gave it 4. I don't think Tara's here tonight.
I'm going to do 0.5/DNF. And I'll post it for a week. There we go.
Oh, here we go. Okay.
All right.
I'll do it now.
Yep. I already knew how this book went because it was a reread, so I just enjoyed the ride, and the audiobook was great. Yep. I gave it 4 stars the first time I read it physically. Fast-paced and fun to read, but Pip's sense action so frustrating.
Natalie said she really liked the audiobook. Yeah.
I was a bit frustrated with Pip since she has such supportive friends and family, so why did she go it alone so often? Yeah.
She was a teenager.
Yeah.
We're dumb like that.
I have to admit, I don't know what my rating would have been if I didn't listen to the audiobook.
Oh.
I think it probably would have been lower.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I think that audiobook just made it. It was a production in and of itself.
Mm-hmm.
And I also think that it was so quick to get through that if I had have just been physically reading it, even with the mixed media format, I would have been stumped more because I'd just be like, oh, why? Like more often than the audiobook where I'm just breezing through it. So
I expected to love this one. I expected to love this one, like, you know, I expected to give it 5 stars. Like, I was the one who kind of like pushed us to read it too. So, there were a couple of things. For one, I didn't have a problem. I think I said it in my video. Didn't have a problem putting it down. Like, it took me 10 days to read this or something like that. It shouldn't have taken me that long to read it. The other thing is the big twist. I don't like that in stories. Being a teacher especially. It pissed me off. I was like, really? So that's just something I don't enjoy. I can deal with it in stories if I really like the story. If the story is really good, I'm like, okay, I don't like that, but I can. But it just wasn't my favorite story, like plot wise. And I think that was my biggest issue, was the plot just wasn't my cup of tea as much as, you know, if it was these same characters but a different plot line or something, I might have enjoyed it a little bit more.
Yeah.
Or a different outcome.
Yeah. Amber
So
agrees the audiobook was really good, read along and really enjoyed it, and Michael both read and listened. I may have rated it higher if I solely read it. I get FOMO when I listen to a mixed media book. That's fair. I'm in the same sort of boat as yourself, with the twist. See, it's hard for me because, like, one of my favorite books is My Dark Vanessa.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that is definitely exploring some interesting themes when it comes to dynamics in a school environment. But I didn't believe it.
Well, and My Dark Vanessa, going into it, that's the intention of the story. It's not like this is the plot twist of the story.
There is the twist at the end that you question a lot. But for this, I don't know. It was one of those ones that I felt came out of left field. Like, because of all the interactions that they had, that, like, yeah, it all tied up and made sense, but it was just so like, no, not them. I've ruled them out. Cool, no. Boom. You know, I would have believed it more if it was her dad.
Yeah.
Because you were set up to believe that he was a fucking dickhead.
Right. Well, that was, I think, the intention was to make it someone who the one you don't suspect, even though you do suspect at the beginning, you're like, oh, it's got to be him. But at the same time, they made this character such a cinnamon roll that you're like,
true.
But then that's like the pull the rug out from under you move.
Yeah, for me, it didn't feel authentic. Like, it was like relying too much on the shock value of it to have actually laid the groundwork sufficiently.
I was more shocked that the girl that he was keeping in the house wasn't actually Andy.
Me too. Yeah.
I actually loved that. I loved it to love that part.
I'm just like, but
like, what?
You were meeting up together. You would know that that's not the girl. Like, her photos all over the fucking web, like everything. You would have been able to see that wasn't her, even if she was drug addled to the nth degree.
His guilt made him blind to everything, I guess.
Battery had an aneurysm.
Well, and I guess the part that made the ending a little less believable for that is that the Singh family never, like, they were monsters in everybody's eyes, but her best friend Kara and Naomi didn't suffer any ill effects, really. Like, nobody treated them like they were the monsters of the community once it came out that it was their father. That was a little strange. Huh?
But they were white.
Oh.
That was like, I found that was the whole commentary. It was, they were targeted because the things were,
because they were Indian. Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. Yeah, that was a little strange to me. I figured they'd get a little more backlash than they did.
Also, by the way, spoilers.
Not that I want them to get backlash. I don't want that on anybody.
No.
Like, when I read We Need to Talk About Kevin, where he, like, their family's completely ostracized. Everybody is completely ostracized that their kid shoots up a school or does things like this. So it's like, it was strange that the girls didn't have much of a backlash. And like, oh, my dad's in jail. And then we're just happy to be with you now.
Everything's fine. It's not like this is a completely traumatizing event or anything.
I just thought the ending was a little like, okay, good. I'm glad
curious to see where the second one goes because of that as well.
Danielle, we have to hear from you.
I'm just thinking, like, I don't even remember getting that, like, update on Kara and Naomi, like, or how they were dealing with things after the fact.
They moved in with Pip and her family.
Okay.
And
I'm pretty sure. Or was it with their aunt?
I think they moved in with their aunt. But, like, they were there. They didn't go to the final thing or whatever it was, but or Pip's, just the thing. But, like, Kara was there, different things, and just was happy that Pip was feeling better. And they just didn't seem that traumatized about the fact that their dad, who was their only support system, was now in prison. Just a little, like, the ending, that part I was a little like, wouldn't there be a bit more drama there? A little bit more, I don't know.
Considering your best friend has researched into this for a school project.
And is the reason your dad's in jail. Not that your dad's not the reason he's in jail, but, like, they already lost their mom. I just figured they'd be, like, catatonic or something, you know?
Well, considering how badly Naomi's trauma had impacted on her entire life leading up to this point, I'm surprised she didn't have a nervous breakdown.
Yeah.
I would have.
Yep, now they lost their mom, now they lost their dad.
Yeah. But, like, I have a nervous breakdown over breaking a tea bag, so. Alicia loved this book the first time reading it and enjoyed it just as much this time. Nat, I feel like he was a good person who just let himself be broken by a bad situation and just kind of lost control. Yeah, I love that you and I both just have the same sort of like, it takes a real big fuck up to get to that point.
That was a big mistake.
That was
like
kind of big fuck
the
up
biggest
right
of the
there.
biggest mistakes.
Yeah. And both of us being teachers, it's just like, and obviously people in the general populace that aren't teachers know the consequences of this. Like everyone knows the consequences of it. But when you're there in that situation, I just could not imagine having any sort of dynamic, any of that. You just don't.
Yeah.
Even if she's blackmailing, whatever, just fucking report it.
Yeah, it's we do so much training as teachers. We do so much like thinking about what you would have to do in a situation, like we spend a lot of time thinking about these things. So I think that makes it harder to enjoy that as a plot twist. But
yeah, and it was a twist.
Yes.
It was definitely something that came out of left field. For me, I know that someone who was it said that from the first chapter, they're like, I didn't like the way they ate their breakfast.
Yeah, that's right.
So man guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't like the way he was eating his breakfast. It's just, and obviously like, it's hard for me because I have my own experiences as a student, and then I also have like for both sides of it.
Can I ask something real quick?
Yeah, of course.
Amy, which version of the book did you read?
The same one you have.
Okay.
And that's something I also want to look. Yeah.
I'm going to go back and read the end tonight because I just really feel like something's missing from what I remember.
Do you have a
regarding mine actually says 2 months later at the end.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. And there wasn't that much detail about, like, I just looked. There wasn't that much detail about what happened to Kara and Naomi. So, I don't know. I'm going to reread it tonight because I'm curious now. Like, super hung up on this.
Yeah, with the lookalike, he kidnapped a lookalike. What? The girl in the attic seemed like such a huge twist to be over in 2 chapters. Absolutely. Like, and it was just sitting there, just chit-chatting away at life, and then, all right, I'm going to bolt upstairs and no one can stop me. Like,
it's the same one that you have.
Okay.
I don't think there is a lot of information.
No, it just, the fact that they just seemed all right was a little surprising to me.
Well, like the one, you said that, but then the one didn't show up at the assembly thing.
Well, yes, only because it would be a little I mean, good. I'm glad they didn't, because then I would be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that would have been like, hell no.
That'd be worse. I'd be like, well, what felt strange was that it felt like Kara was like really spending a lot of time supporting Pip in her recovery. And I'm like, but why does it feel like you're the supporting character here when you have just been dealt a huge traumatic hand? Not saying that she shouldn't support her friend and love her friend still, but like, it just felt like she was supporting Pip in a way that like Pip had so much trauma, so she's being the crutch, or not the crutch, but the shoulder that Pip can land on. And I'm like, you know that you got a lot of trauma too, Kara. You're allowed to be the person that somebody's trying to hold up.
So in my version, it's like everyone in a year had done their EPQ presentations. That was one other thing. Did they call it an EPQ?
No.
Cool. I assumed that was going to be a difference earlier in the week to small classrooms of people and the modulators. But the school and the exam board thought it would be a good idea to turn Pip's presentation into a bit of an event, as the head teacher had put it. Pip had been given no choice in the matter. The school had advertised it online and in the Kilton Mail. They'd invited members of the press to attend. Pip had seen a BBC van pull up earlier, and the equipment and cameras are unpacked. Like, the school is inviting you to televise the fact that one of their teachers was sleeping with a student. Like, the fuck? No. They would have hushed that shit under the fucking rug like nobody's business. And then
wasn't in yours page, wasn't it kind of like a school like where you wear uniforms and stuff? Page,
remember.
sorry.
I don't think so. Oh, no, because anytime they mentioned what she was wearing, it was in the context of over the weekend and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. Because I thought I was talking to Kim about this, and I thought that was one of the differences between the two.
But like,
stories, but
even if it was a school in uniform, that's more the reason that they would hush it under the rug.
right.
Like,
Yeah.
Kilton Secrets and Mysteries had followed Pip so closely in those weeks, she'd had to wear them like a new skin, except for the one that was buried deep down, the one she'd keep forever to save Kara, her best friend who never once left Pip's side in the hospital. 2 pages later, she's looking out over everyone as she starts to talk. Stanley was sitting just beside her, behind her friends, Kara's face absent among them. As brave as she had been through everything, she decided today would have been too hard for her.
Yeah.
And then that is it. That's it.
Yeah, but I don't think in the epilogue. I think in the section before the epilogue, her and Naomi are like, "Good to see you, Pip. I'm glad you're doing all." Or like, I don't know. They're just.
Yeah,
I thought there were some strange things.
I thought it went like.
I don't know. I feel.
I think the 3
like
months
mine went straight from her like
collapsing,
passing out. Yeah. To that.
Yeah. That's the same for me. Like, it was her talking with Ravi before the presentation, and that was it. And it was saying that
I have to go back and look where it was that I just felt like
Kara and Naomi are around for dinner.
Naomi are coming for dinner too.
Yeah.
Like, it just seems so. Fairview's secrets and mysteries had followed Pip so closely in those weeks, she had to wear them like a new skin, except the one that was buried deep down, the one she'd keep forever to save Kara. What was that?
Yeah.
Her best friend who'd never once left Pip's side in the hospital. Kara and Naomi are coming over. And just the way, it just seemed so like...
I think it was about Naomi's involvement. She was still protecting
she didn't tell
Naomi.
Kara. I have people in my life that are spelled Cara, and it's Kara and Kara. So I never know how to say that freaking name.
I'm pretty sure in the audiobook they said Kara. But I could be wrong because, you know me and retention of audiobook.
Yeah. It was interesting how it ended. The ending was, but the ending actually brought it up to a 3.75 from a 3.5 for me. So, I did enjoy it. It was entertaining. I did enjoy this book. It was really entertaining. It just, it shouldn't have taken me 10 days to read it. Because I was just like, I'll read a little bit here and there, and then I'd get tired of reading it and I'd put it down.
Yeah. Amber, the reason I gave it 4 stars instead of 5 was Pip's decision to go to the abandoned house and confront the dad alone. And then she did it again with the sister. I was like, a little self-preservation. And I'm like, you accepted tea. You fucking dipshit. I was waiting for it to kick in.
I feel like all these things are what makes it YA, though. Like, none of that's surprising.
Yeah, 100%. Like, it wasn't surprising. I was just like...
Developed at that point. Teenagers take risks all the time. They're dumb. I love teenagers. They're dumb.
I love this question. I wonder what her grade on this project was on this project.
Oh,
A+. Give it? From an academic perspective.
No, not A+. What am I saying? I'm only considering that she figured it out. But she took so many horrible, like, what do you think, Danielle? I'll think about it.
On the project?
Yeah.
Dude, she just did a whole presentation in front of the school. Like,
Yeah, but she
did
illegal
all that
things.
legwork. I'm sorry, no.
How many illegal
She's getting
things
an
did she
A.
do though
She
to
got
get that?
poisoned,
If the
and
cops had done that, what would have happened to them?
what if they had
All
They
done
would
that
have
what?
stuff would have
arrested
been
the
thrown. It would
girl.
have been thrown out in court because it was all the things she did were
Oh
not.
yeah.
You're not allowed to break and enter. You're not. Allowed to, she wasn't supposed to contact the families.
Yeah.
Like,
For me,
you're being so
he would have
critical.
been
Like,
still a flop.
never read Truly Devious, because I love that series and it reminded me so much of this, and I don't want you tearing that one apart. No.
We just won't group read it. And then Amy and I can be messaging, be like, what the fuck is that?
So I just picked up Truly Devious's page.
Like I completely understand, and it was an enjoyable, fun read. And I'm sorry, like we did just dive into absolutely tearing it to shreds.
Sorry,
but
that's
we
not
both
fair.
enjoyed it. It wasn't a bad book.
Yeah.
It was just
2.75
the
is good for
main
me.
things hit, like the 2 points that Amy and I are so just, and I knew that we were going to have a similar reaction because of it. It was just like one of those things that
if you're gonna make it a teacher, don't make it a cinnamon roll. That's what I ask. That's what I ask. Make him a shitty teacher. Make him a skeevy guy. Make him something.
You don't understand, because, like, to me, that's very realistic.
I know, but
Like,
I don't like
hate
it. I'm
to
a
say
teacher.
that. I know you don't like it, but like, yeah.
I think for
They're
me,
my babies.
yeah, I also feel like for me personally, if they were that kind of a cinnamon roll teacher, they wouldn't have ended up in that situation. Like every teacher that I've had those sort of interactions with are not cinnamon rolls.
Right. That's same experience. And I know male teachers that are cinnamon rolls, and I know that like they're not creeps, Natalie. They're not all creeps.
No, I'm with Natalie. Like,
no, that is not true.
No, absolutely not.
I'm not saying
absolutely
all,
not.
But I'm saying some.
And
sure,
there could definitely be some.
And there's definitely
I
creepy teachers that are creeps, and there's definitely creepy teachers that are not creeps.
I think in the pool of teachers that I've interacted with, both as a student and as a teacher, none of the cinnamon ones would have done this. None. It's just not. They just don't. Like, you know the ones that do. You can see them come through. You know exactly where this is going to go. And that could also be an Australian thing as well.
I think what made it harder with him, that made it more painful, is that he never did anything inappropriate. Like, you know, a lot of times when you read about these kind of twists, there's some hint that they were inappropriate in some way at some point. And he didn't. And that's where Natalie says, well, you know, like, maybe he made a big mistake. And I'm like...
Yeah, it's such an interesting, and obviously, like, I'm aware that other people would have gone through really traumatic experiences and they would have been cinnamon roll teachers. I don't discount that. It's just rough. For him, was the way he ate his... How did he eat his fucking breakfast? When was he introduced?
This has got to be a joke, right?
When did he eat his breakfast? Please tell me.
I don't remember. It was pretty early.
Early, yeah. It was early.
What did he do?
Also Michael, let us know. I love that her dad calls her Pickle.
Oh, yeah. I loved her dad. Her dad was a great character.
Yeah.
He was a great character. I mean, there were a lot of characters that I really liked in this. So maybe that's why I said, like, if it was a different story with these same characters, I was so nervous that Ravi was going to be it in the end. Like, I kept being like, don't you dare. Don't you dare. Especially because Danielle loved Ravi so much. See, I was thinking about you, Danielle.
No, and you guys, my initial suspicion was him. Because it would have been, like, the most off the wall, like, far out thing in my mind. But then, like, with the sister being involved, like, as the story went on, I changed my mind, and I was like, "Oh, it's definitely the sister." But I didn't realize it was gonna be, like, a two-part thing, you know? So
Yeah.
then I was actually, like, surprised about the whole Mr. Ward thing
Yeah.
and
So
the
I
other
didn't
Andy.
like the Mr. Ward thing, but I liked the sister thing. Like, I liked that, and that's what, like, I was like this, like it,
Yeah.
my enjoyment. But yeah, I thought that Mr. Ward was too obvious at first, so that it wouldn't be him, because that was the initial focus that Pip was like, no, no, no.
I'm just going back to see if there was anything like
I know
how he
that
was eating his breakfast, but
I'm
they
trying to find it.
they were sitting in Elliot Ward's study, Pip on the swivel desk chair and Naomi across from her on the oxblood leather armchair. Naomi wasn't looking at Pip. She was staring instead at the 3 paintings on the far wall. 3 giant canvases of the family immortalized forever in rainbow-tinted strokes. Her parents walking in autumn woods, Elliot drinking from a steaming mug, and a young Naomi and Kyra on a swing. Their mum had painted them when she was dying, her final mark upon the world. Pip knew how important these paintings were to the Wards, how they looked to them in their happiest and saddest time. Although she remembered there used to be a couple more displayed in here too. Maybe Elliot was keeping them in storage to give to the girls when they grew up and moved out. They mentioned the paintings missing in chapter 5.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it comes full circle.
Yeah.
I was just like, that's so interesting.
Yeah, it did. What was it? There was something. I don't remember. I was thinking that Ravi was jealous when they were talking about Ravi, how his brother was the perfect brother. He was wonderful. He was kind, but then like the parents, he was the perfect. Everybody loved Ravi. The parents loved Ravi. That was the favorite son. So not Ravi, Sal. So then all of a sudden I was thinking maybe Ravi was jealous. Like maybe there was a level of jealousy, and that was why initially I was like, oh, maybe it is Ravi. But then that would be terrible because. Because Danielle loves Ravi.
Yeah.
I didn't realize you had that suspicion at one point too.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I'm not finding the breakfast thing.
I found the introduction to him as a character, and it's just he was wiping down the counters in a eyesore pastel yellow shirt.
Oh.
A shirt that says it all.
Yeah.
There was no clues to him. There were no clues to him.
Well, reading that chapter, there was the clues about the painting.
Well, and the clues about I mean, I kind of thought when that boy, the awful boy, found the naked picture of her in the back of the classroom.
In the classroom,
like, why?
yeah.
That was the thing that bugged me. I was like, why doesn't Pip find out where why doesn't she go back and ask that jerk what classroom he found it in? That is a huge clue, and she never asked him. I was like, what the heck, Pip? How come I'm a better detective than you are? I didn't think
because you have a fully functional frontal cortex.
Oh, that's right.
Sorry, they don't develop until the age of 25.
Yeah, so. I know. That's why she makes all these dumb choices, which I have no problem forgiving that. Like everybody else had a hard time with that. That I have no problem forgiving because she's a teenager. Like,
I do also love Nat. Don't judge me for having low standards for men. They will do anything but go to therapy. All the accuracy, it hurts.
It's so sad. I am so mad at Mr. Ward. I'm just so mad at him. Just made me so angry. That made me so angry. I wanted it to be anybody else. Anybody else. I could have handled it being Ravi.
Give me the dad.
To him. Huh?
Give me the Andy's dad.
Yeah.
Like, he's the fucking villain making them believe all this bullshit and treat them absolutely appallingly. Don't. Daisy said so many things that just weren't logical. I feel like I didn't think too hard about the details of this book. I was just, no thoughts, head empty. Maybe I need to read more books like this and I'll have a lot more 5 stars. Go for it. Oh, thank you, Bubba.
Hydration station.
Thank you.
What is that?
Keeping me hydrated.
Oh, hydration station. That's cute. No, that's true. And you know, I did like how many options there were. I thought that made it a lot of fun. Like how many possibilities there were and how many, like going through Pip's way of thinking about like all these different possibilities. I liked the little list. I liked how she was developing her ideas about these different people. That was fun. That made the process of figuring out who it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. And overall, I really enjoyed it. It was a fun read. Like, it is a fantastic YA bingeable mystery thriller.
Mm-hmm.
It hits it perfectly. It's just there were those few little elements that you and I are just like, we can't come back from that.
I just, like you were saying that I was like a Robbie fan, which I am, but like for me, it was more about him and Pip's like dynamic and like their back and forth and like I thought that was great.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I wouldn't want Robbie to be disappointing because his dynamic with Pip was so cute.
Yeah.
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 I don't know if I needed them to get together though.
Oh.
There was a lot of flirting the whole time.
I mean,
yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm nervous that we're gonna have a third act breakup in the third book, and I really just don't know if I can deal with that angst.
Yeah.
So I'm like, can we just keep them as cute little cinnamon rolls together, please? That would be lovely. Let's have a positive, healthy relationship with active communication instead of hiding things behind their back. Speaking of hiding things behind their back, with Pip's horrible survival instincts.
She's gonna. Yes, I'll take some tea.
From a murder. How the fuck did I manage that? I just got water all over myself.
You've got a hole in your chin.
Yeah.
I said that to somebody, and they said they had never heard the term "a hole in your chin." Who was it? Was that Natalie? Was that you? I think I remember saying that, and you were like, "I never heard that before." I think that was.
I haven't heard it before, but it makes sense.
Hey, did you guys know
that was a pretty common saying?
That at the very back, it says, "This girl is about to find more bad secrets, and this time everyone is listening." And then it's got the cover of the sequel, and then it says, "Turn the page to start reading the sequel." And it gives like almost 3 pages worth of good girl, bad blood.
I never look at those. I never read them because I'm always like, I
don't usually either.
5 survive.
I don't usually.
Yours is 5 survive?
Yeah. Because mine's a newer edition.
Mm-hmm. This girl is about to.
I love this. Okay, can I just read you a little bit at the beginning? Do you want to hear it?
Let's go for it.
Yeah,
Okay, it says you'd think you know what a killer sounds like, that their lies would have a different texture, some barely perceptible shift, a voice that thickens, grows sharp and uneven as the truth slips between the jagged edges. You'd think that, wouldn't you? Everyone thinks they'd know if it came down to it, but Pip hadn't. I don't know, like I just love it.
Are you going to be able to stop yourself from reading the second one?
I mean, I do have it, but no, I have so much to read this month, so I have to.
Blackbird Oracle.
Exactly.
Yes.
Hawthorne Legacy. Yeah.
I'm so excited. Oh, it's so pretty.
And that pretty baby. Yeah.
Oh, I'm not buying it because I don't know any of the other ones.
Oh, no.
But I'll just.
Leanna
those end papers are
gifted me
beautiful.
mine for my birthday, and
Oh,
it's
how lovely.
I love it so much.
Oh, that's nice. Is that copper? Oh,
like
you're
rose gold.
muted. You're muted, Amy.
Sorry. It is, but it also goes with the orange,
Nice.
which works with the orange on the cover, the little orange stars.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Pretty. That's a beautiful cover.
fabulous.
So
Leanna
excited.
said there was so many wacky things towards the end. It almost seemed like a comedy. I 100% agree. That was like the thing that I was like, it's taken itself so seriously, but not seriously at all. This entire, and so, I think for me, a lot of it that looking back on, it's like, it started off actually taking itself seriously, but then it hit a point where it stopped, but then tried to come back, but then it, what? But it was fun. So it works.
And this is definitely one I would recommend to teenagers. I think teenagers would love this book. This is like one of those YA mysteries that I think a lot of kids would like.
I like, the idea of Ward breaking into a house to leave a mean message.
And I didn't understand why. See, that was the other thing. And I guess that's a clue to there being two of them, because
the messages were so different.
And the fact that somebody broke in just to write, ignore, stop doing this. Wait, did the other girl break in? No, Ward broke in. Who broke into her house?
Ward did.
Yeah. So the fact that he left all her evidence and just said, stop doing this.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden the culprit made her destroy all her evidence. It didn't make sense to me. I was like, well, then why didn't they just steal it when they were in the house? Why didn't they just take the evidence as opposed to leaving her a cryptic message at the bottom of all her evidence? So I was like, then all of a sudden later on they were asking her to destroy all her evidence. That is like, that should have been the tip off that it was two different people. But it wasn't. I was just like, that's sloppy. It's like, why did the culprit do that? That's stupid.
But that's like part of the fun of the plotting. It was. And when they broke it down and was like, well, yeah, the messages were completely different. Like one was punctuated, one was this, the other one was not.
More aggressive too.
Yeah. And they went further. Like,
like more threatening.
Yeah.
Right,
I didn't.
Ward was just like,
stop
it. Please stop.
Please stop.
You stop.
Please don't ruin my life.
Don't do this anymore, Pippa.
I also totally fell for that whole red herring thing where the HH guy at the whatever IVN or whatever. It was and then at that point, because I know somebody said something about Andy still thinking Andy was alive or whatever. I was thinking that oh, she's just with this guy, living in this another place just to get away from.
Well, when we found out that it wasn't Andy, that girl in the thingy wasn't Andy, I thought then that Andy had planned this whole thing and manipulated Mr. Ward and blackmailed him to pretend that this girl was Andy, and he, I didn't. Then I thought, well, maybe Mr. Ward's not, because I was trying to, as hard as I could, I was trying to make him not guilty. I was like, maybe he's not guilty, and Andy's forcing his hand somehow, and she's actually the one that did all this stuff, and sort of like the Gone Girl thing, which was like, it's Andy, and Mr. Ward's not guilty. And so then the girl in the attic that wasn't Andy was my clue that it wasn't Mr. Ward. It was like, it's been planted, and he's being forced to take on the blame for some reason. That wasn't the case, but I really hoped.
Interesting. Hi, Bobo.
Hello.
Do you think she kept all the illegal stuff she did? She kept in all the illegal stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I'm assuming that this was the result. This was her essay.
You think it's real life?
Well, I mean, like, that's the way that they've formatted it, is to make
Oh.
it like this is her essay presentation.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it would all get thrown out in court if that was real. Like, if it was real, it would not have cut it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you can't do that sort of thing when it comes to investigations. That's why there's all those rules and stuff, and you do anything illegal, and all that stuff gets thrown out in court, which is perfect for the defendant.
Yeah.
They want you to make those kind of missteps.
Yeah, so
because it helps their court case.
Nat says, because of books and movies, I feel the nerdy, clumsy teachers are the one you have to keep an eye on. There's such a thing as appearing too innocent.
Yeah.
Leanna said, until the end, I thought that maybe Andy was still alive, especially because when the older lady at the hotel said she'd seen her recently. That was clever. That was clever.
Yeah. That's another red herring. Another red herring right there.
But it was still accurate because she had seen her recently. Because Andy
the fake one.
and Becca look similar.
Oh.
Not the fake one. Her sister and her look so similar.
But when did the lady see her sister?
When she went to the hotel to investigate.
Oh. Okay. I missed that part.
There was... Jesus. My water bottle is leaking like nobody's business. Okay, I gotta stop drinking because I can't fucking get any in my mouth. It's just going on my clothes. And that's not helpful for hydration. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there was like when she was talking with
I thought Becca that she still didn't know what actually happened. She didn't actually know what happened to Andy.
Open, would you like tea? Just making myself one. Morning after pill.
I was really happy that Becca couldn't kill Andy. You know, that just murder itself is not that easy to do.
What do you mean? She let her die?
Not Andy, Pippa. She didn't actually strangle Pippa to death. She was like, I can't do this. And I liked that because I was like, Becca wasn't really a murderer.
So when she was confronting Becca, she said, and then 5 years later, I start digging. You got my number from Stanley's phone from when I interviewed him because they're in a relationship. He told me some kid was doing a project thinking Sal was innocent. I panicked. I thought that if you proved his innocence, I'd need to find another suspect. I'd kept Andy's burner phone and I knew she was having a secret relationship. There was some text to a contact named E about meeting up at this hotel, the Ivy House. So I went there to see if I could find out who this man was. I didn't get anywhere. The old woman who owned it was very confused.
Okay. Oh, I completely missed that. Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's why the woman got so upset because she's like, no, I have seen this woman. And it's stated over and over that Becca and Andy look quite similar, especially at this point. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was how that all tied together.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I've ever read a YA without pining and miscommunication.
I mean...
Accurate.
Pretty typical of teenage years.
Already put myself on hold for the next book.
Hopefully it won't take long.
Actually, I should... Yeah, I'm going to look at mine just in case. I do have multiple libraries, so it should be fine. It was wild. She acted all distraught about destroying her research to be like, oh, it's got a coffee, baby.
She acted it well.
You know
She
what I
did.
just realized?
What?
The main character in Truly Devious is named Stevie Bell.
Ah, I
Yeah.
didn't. Yeah, I did remember that.
Stevie Bell?
Is it
Instead of Andy
Good
Bell.
Girl Bad? Good Girl Bad Blood. Maybe it's going to be like a cross author universe.
Oh.
Hmm.
I'd be fine with that.
Now I want to read Truly Devious and tell you what I think about it. I'm just kidding.
You'll probably be like, "Oh my gosh, I love it so much."
It
Depends
is.
on what.
Yeah.
Truly Devious has some really good like representation in it, for sure.
I'm very excited to read that one as well. But since we don't have
I mean,
it is BookStara at the moment.
Yeah.
We
got the things to focus on for BookStara.
Yeah.
Have you started it?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm finishing up this right now.
Oh, also, do we still need to make a side quest
Side
channel
quest.
for the
Oh, I
Blackbird
didn't.
Oracle?
I didn't yet, did I? Okay, I'll do that. Let me put it on my list of things to do. I keep forgetting not to do that, but just there's so many things in my mind that I need to do now that I came back home. I'm like, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I gotta do this.
There you go.
And
Cross
I've
it
been
off your
doing a
list.
lot. Oh. Thank you.
I got all good.
Excuse me.
And now you can cross it off your list.
Yeah.
Woo! I love it. Oh, so I'm not gonna say anything at the moment. I'll message. You
I don't know.
YACU.
YACU.
I think a final report was probably different than the book. Pimp seems to have some sense of questionable journalism with catfishing and re-interviewing information. That's also true. I feel the longer the Truly Devious series gets, the less likely I am to pick it up. Lol. I thought it was a trilogy, but Goodreads shows 6 books. So there's the main arc in the first 3. Is that? And then the other 3 are like in the universe, but it's not the Truly Devious arc.
Yeah, like I had a good experience with book 4, but then book 5, which is 9 Liars, I did not. So, but also I won't quit reading them. Like it wasn't that discouraging. You know. So, but yeah, I mean, you could probably get away with just reading the first 3. I think the other ones are just because, you know, for people like me who can't get
Love
enough.
the world. In the young adult cinematic universe. I love it. That is fab.
YACU. Leanna, speaking of that, Leanna said that the show is terrible. Don't watch it.
Oh.
And you know, what's her name?
Actually, Alicia was going to watch the show, wasn't she? I wonder what she thought.
Leanna said she watched it.
Not to devalue Leanna's opinion, but I'm just curious, like if there
Am I wrong? Was it Alicia that said that? Oh, no, Leanna. I knew it was Leanna. Meg with Books, I haven't watched the video, but she put up a video because I know that she loves the Good Girls Guide to Murder series. She put up a video, basically the thumbnails like for the TV show.
Yeah, I saw that.
So
I think
Abby Lee C also has multiple episode reviews, like so episode 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, I think, per video.
Oh, interesting.
So, yeah, I think when I heard Leanna say like that it was no good, I've like been avoiding it now. So
I was like, okay.
I'm like, I don't want to take away from my experience.
Yeah. I'd be curious to see how they do it, but I also don't watch TV anyway, so
I thought there was some question as to like how much, how far into the books like the show
Mhm.
covered,
Nat said, I didn't know it was a TV show, but I don't think I would be interested in that.
It just came out as a TV show.
Mm-hmm.
We were actually on trend for once.
I know.
We
Look
did
at
that on accident.
Yeah, that was 100%
If we're
accidental. It
honest.
was great.
Oh, yes. I just
Sandy started it today.
virtual hug. Virtual hug.
It's been fun seeing everybody who's reading those books, including you, Michael. Like, it's been fun seeing everybody who's still reading the Greenbone Saga, like
Mhm.
update and I just love going in
Yeah.
and reading the comments and being like, oh, that's what
I
they
know.
are.
I
Oh, that's what
really
they are.
need to catch up on.
You're about to be in pain.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was like, oh.
Oh,
It is,
Sandy started.
yeah. I do
Sorry, go
like that we don't close off the channels, so then people still can go back when they have the opportunity to.
Not enjoying.
Yeah, and just so y'all know, I do at least. I mean, I'm sure a lot of us do, but I do go back and look at people's comments of previous books that we've. So
I need to be
keep
better
coming.
about that, I confess. Yeah.
You don't have to. It's just, I like it.
I mean, I guess just how one of us is, but yeah.
I go back and read them. I don't necessarily comment though.
Same.
Jumping, I feel like there's quite a lot to discuss in this in so many different ways. Like, also, I'm not okay with Barney. That was completely unnecessary.
Oh my gosh.
The dog.
No, I was not okay.
Oh, I let him go, but he must have just fallen into the... Fuck no. You go drop that dog in someone's yard. You don't let it just go off into the woods if you're going to be a dickhead about it. You fucking bitch. Like, that was I don't care if you put fucking death notes in their, like, sleeping bags or in their lockers or on their computer. Don't do that.
Well, and why would you just release the dog anyways? Like, if you went and took somebody's dog from where they had it, why would you just release it from your house or release it from wherever you are? That just is it's so irresponsible and
100%.
shitty. Like, yeah,
it was
that's just
horrible.
It makes me think of my dog, and when she gets close to the street or runs across the street, scares the crap out of me. But like,
100%.
people think about that. Like, I would think about it even if I didn't have dogs. Like, you don't just release dogs out. Like, here you go. Make your way back home.
Make your way home. Yeah.
That was strange.
Michael blocked it out. That's fair.
Yeah, it was. I agree. It was unnecessary.
So for the TV show, they don't think there are any spoilers for the rest of the series. There was one weird additional plot point that was added. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
interesting.
I don't like that.
Oh, God.
That did make me question how good of a person Becca could be. 100%.
Well, she's definitely stupid.
I know this girl's fucking traumatized, but honey, see, I think that's been like, for all of this, for the road trip, for this book, my whole thought process is, bitches, just go to fucking therapy.
Get yourself taken care of. Yeah. I know.
Instead of being douche canoes, walk yourself into a therapist office and sit the fuck down.
It's never good to be a douche canoe.
No, it's not. Because otherwise you could be a penis pontoon.
Yeah. Yes. That's better. Oh, no, that's worse.
I have a whole list of them.
I did. This was a book where I really did like. I thought that the mixed media was useful and helpful.
And it was.
I enjoyed that in here. Sometimes it doesn't always add to a story, but I thought it really did a good job in this one.
To me, like, it helps break it up. Like.
And to see her organizing processes, I liked that too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like see it actually mapped out or logged out. I liked that.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun. Like, it makes it a more enjoyable reading experience overall as well.
Well, because I know a couple people in the actual Discord were saying at first they didn't like the writing style. Like, they had a hard time with the writing style, getting into it. They had a hard time with the way it was written, the way it was formatted too. So I thought that was like interesting, because I know my mom usually hates mixed media, and she liked the mixed media in this one. So it's curious to see like how it works for some people, but how it doesn't work for others.
I didn't feel like it was overdone. Like, it wasn't, the whole book or anything.
Yeah. And I liked, for the audiobook, like, the production logs were made to sound like a recording, which it made it that distinct component.
Yeah. That's cool. That's cool. I like that.
100%. 100%. As someone that
therapy
and works as an admin for a psychology practice,
I finally got an appointment with the therapist sometime this month, later on in the month. And
that's so exciting.
I know. Well, they finally started hiring more at the clinic, so
excellent.
There's more. So
good.
Marvelous.
Let's hope they don't cancel on me, because then I'll be pissed. I won't see a therapist. I got canceled on so many times. I was so like, nope, I'm done. I don't need to see a therapist now. You guys made me mad. I need a therapist about my therapy experience.
That's not surprising. Well, if they do pull any stuff, message me and I'll see how time zones work. Because I've got lots of therapists.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. There's nothing.
Hopefully it works, because, then it's free.
It'd be nice.
Free. Yeah. But we'll see.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm just happy that,
Yay. I'm excited for you.
Because I always think therapy is great. I think it's a good way to, it's just like, we have to do, I always think of it like a car, you take care of the exterior of the body, but you also got to take care of the interior.
100%. And look, for me, my poor mother has copped me being like, everyone should be in therapy. Therapy is great. Everyone go to therapy. Like, it's the best thing ever. Just fucking go to therapy, you fuckers. Just fucking do it. And for me, I don't even need people to go to therapy to work through their issues. I think people should go to therapy just to have a objective sounding board to life.
Yeah.
Like, and if you have issues, work on them. But like, if you're just, going about your day and it's like, well, this happened in the past couple of weeks, and whilst it's nothing major, it's
like scheduled time to reflect and be conscious and aware, and like, I'm fully in support.
It's just, it's the same thing. We go to doctors to take care of our bodies. We go to therapists to take care of our brains, which is a huge part of our body. It's important to keep everything healthy. All of it.
Yeah.
I love me some holistic health.
Yeah, 100%. And like, it doesn't have to be every 2 weeks. It can be once a month. It can be once every 3 months or 6 months. But it's sometimes.
Yeah.
And it's just a space for you to do your thing and be whatever you need to be in that moment.
Yeah, absolutely. I very much believe that to be true.
I think otherwise, I think it's too tempting to like just go through the motions and like get swept along and not really like take a look at your life, not really be like intentional with like your direction and everything like that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's
for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm at an age where things in my life have not gone the way I thought they were going to go. And I'm trying to figure out ways to be okay with that on my own, but it would be helpful to talk to somebody about it, because it is something that has affected the way I'm living my life and the way I view my life. And so it's just like something like that. Like, it's just life transitions, like just things that happen in your life all throughout it. It's nice to have somebody who's like not within your family or friends, which is great to talk to family and friends too, but like somebody who has an outside perspective, who can just and knows how to help you look at things in a different way, or, can give you some direction on how you can think about things differently too. So I'm excited. I hope. We'll see. I was so frustrated before with my experience trying to book a therapist at our clinic because I got canceled 3 times, and it took so
and
long
that's
to make
rough.
the appointments, and then I
Yeah.
kept getting canceled on. And I was like, then I asked them, I said, can you please give me a therapist who's not going to cancel on me? And they gave me one, and she canceled on me. I was like, okay, I'm done.
And that's, yeah, it's hard because like they shouldn't be canceling that much. There's something wrong in that situation.
Yeah.
But I do understand, like, if you know, one of mine went on mat leave. We've got 2 ladies at the clinic that went on mat leave and have come back.
Yeah.
So they got transitioned to another clinician for the interim. And if they wanted to transfer back when they came back, they could. But then you are also rehashing your story with someone else again.
Yeah.
And it can be an absolute roadblock. A lot of people have said, "No, I'll just wait for them to come back.
Right.
And if I need it, I'll reach out. But like, I'm just gonna let me know when they're back and I'll rebook." But not because they didn't think our other psychs were any good. Just they had developed that rapport. They'd had that history. They knew them inside out, so they don't have to go through that again.
Yeah.
And
Agreed.
you know, you can give consent to read past clinical notes, but it's not the same. Like, people still want to hear it from your own perspective. So it's like, I understand.
Totally.
And it's so rough when life happens. Like, these therapists are obviously people, but to cancel 3, that's like,
well, and I'm a
something's
very
not right with
understanding
that.
person, but it was the no warning, or the there are things that might be coming up, and then the regularity of it, and then how difficult it was to make an appointment. So not only was I getting canceled on every time I was supposed to have an appointment, but then rescheduling was impossible because there were so few therapists that it was like, so I was like, okay, do you not want to see me? Is that what it is? You had your one consultation with me and you're like,
you
I
should
don't
have
want this person.
that in yourself. That should not be a thing that you have to worry about. It won't be. But,
well, I'd only had one appointment with her, and we'd gone through all this, the initial conversation, and then I tried to reschedule with her, and it was like, oh. Nope, she doesn't like me. So she's like, I'll just keep canceling because I don't want to hear that girl talk anymore.
But so we have had obviously some where they've either realized that it's a conflict of interest, or there's been, this is outside of my real expertise. Like, I can't help this person. I'm not trained in this thing. You refer them on to the person in the practice that you think will. You have that communication with the client directly as the psychologist and go, hey, look, I'm so sorry. Do you want me to do a handover where I can condense what you've said? I think this person's going to be able to support you with X. Just that.
Realistically, I'm not nearly that interesting. So I think that it was just, there was problems going on at the clinic from the clinic level. And it just came at a time when I'm like, I need to see a therapist. I'm really unhappy right now. I need to see a therapist just to talk about things, and I couldn't get one. So,
that breaks me.
For me, it takes some people, it takes them so much to even pick up the phone and make that initial phone call, and then to be canceled on. They may never call again. That may be
what if
all
that
it takes to
person
discourage them,
what if that person really needed the help? They needed someone there at, and then I was thinking, what if that was a situation? What if somebody really, really needed it and then they kept getting canceled on? It could be the difference between life and death sometimes, that kind of situation,
Oh, it's America, so you guys are very different. Do you happen to know if your practice is a crisis center?
No, they have to call us up. No, I don't know.
Okay, so
Maybe.
for
I think there's
us,
a separate number for that.
Yeah, because we're private practice, we're not a crisis center, so we can't just book you in. If we've got an availability on the day, we can, but we don't reserve appointments if someone calls in crisis. We just give the mental health care line for them to be able to call and say, present to emergency if you if this is getting worse. That's all we can do as private practice, because we're not crisis, and it's rough, especially when someone is in crisis and they call and you're like, I literally just have to give you this number and I can't do anything else, but that's not my job.
Right.
Like,
Yeah,
if,
I have no
you know,
clue.
I'll be like, well, if you need to see someone, like, this is the process that we can go through, but it's going to be next availability is 2-3 weeks time. Please, for the love of God, take this number, write it down, call them. And, you know, there are so many free services that you can call, but it is calling. It's not seeing someone face to face. And that can really make a big difference for the engagement in therapy as well. Because some people just don't have that phone connection. Yeah, talking over the phone, like not being able to see anyone, just hear their voice. It's so different.
Mm-hmm.
And the psychs also can't read
your expressions or your yeah.
But sorry.
Yeah. No.
Tangent. I'm quite passionate about this now.
I mean, it's what you do. Understandably.
Yeah. And hearing that the administration side of you getting access to therapy was so challenging, just my heart just goes, oh, because, you know, I do spend a lot of my days trying to make it work for anyone that I can. Like, we had a client come yesterday. They were supposed to be in at 11, in at 2:00. They'd put it in their phone for 11. It's a 4-hour round trip.
Oh. So you're trying to see if you could get them in somehow.
So called the 11 o'clock and said, you're not here yet. It's just after 11. Can you come at 2? And they went, yeah, sure. No worries. That's
very lucky. Yeah.
So, and the clinician and I were like, we got to stop pulling that shit on that poor woman. Because we do that a lot to her. Like, they'll be in the 4:00 spot, and because the clinician lives 45 minutes away, it'll be like, can you come at 3:00 instead of 4:00? So they can have an early like, we do it too often. I'm like, I've got to remember not to call this woman,
this particular person.
Yeah. And it's not because we're canceling the appointment. We're just swapping times.
Yeah, switching
and
it. Yeah.
We know that her work schedule is actually flexible enough to allow it, but we also shouldn't take advantage of it. But it was just one of those situations. But, you know, I was so upset for this client, and it was on them. We had every right to turn around, to charge them the fee for not being able to attend their appointment at the scheduled time. Right. And the fact that she just put it in a phone roll. Like, we could have just turned around and said, nah, sorry.
Yeah. Which probably would have happened in a lot of time. You know, a lot of people. Yeah.
But we tried to make it work in some way, shape, or form.
That was really nice.
I'd also emailed the clinician being like, are we going to charge an FTA if we can't swap? And they're like, absolutely not. And I was like, thanks. So, like, we wouldn't have billed it because it happens. Yeah. But that's because we're a small practice. It is very much our business, and we see people, not money.
Right.
Like, that's just how we approach it. You know, and sometimes we're hard ass, and especially if you're a dickhead to me, I ain't going to help you as far as I could throw you. You know,
well, understandably,
what did my coworker say? It's, well, you know, we'll help them out if they're nice, but if they're a dickhead, they've got to pay the dickhead tax.
Yep. There's dickhead tax. Good.
But
I hate
we're
when
a small
dickheads
business in a rural company, so, like, we can do this.
Yeah. No, that's and it's nice to hear that people do that. You do.
Yeah. Did it. But, like, you know, I know that it's not feasible because I'm Australian, but, like, 100%, if anyone called, I'd be like, I'll do what I can to get your, like, I don't care where you live. If time zones work, we can make it happen. But, yeah, that's just one of those ones. But anyway, let's
cross our fingers that this appointment that I have in a couple of weeks sticks. And I get a good therapist.
Yeah.
Because I hate having to go over everything every single time. New therapist, Go through the whole process. New therapists go through the whole process.
It's the same clinic that you went to before.
I only saw this lady once. Like I had a therapist in Texas that I really liked him. And then I left. And, but every single time you go to a new therapist, you got to go through all the stuff again. Every single time.
Because I wonder if you could say, like, whoever it is, I give them consent to look over that initial consultation.
I don't know that she put anything in the initial consultation.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Fasting. But fingers crossed for loveliness and happiness and all good positive outcomes.
Thank you.
It's just nice.
Yeah.
And I know it's something that you've been looking forward to.
I know. I've been, because I'm very much a proponent of therapy too. So I'm always like, I always want people to go see a therapist because I think it's good it's just a good time. Like, you're saying, like, to not even work through things, but just touch base, like talk about things, have those tune-ups in a sense, to your brain. And I am like wholeheartedly for it. But then I was getting just so frustrated. I'm like, I'm not going to go do it. Fuck it. And I'm like, it doesn't follow my feelings of how I feel about therapy, So.
I also think that so for psychologists in Australia, they have to do X amount of hours of supervision so them discussing with someone else about them and how they're traveling in their work, like not necessarily about clients, but just how they're going, their check-in, because they're looking after people's mental health.
For sure.
The same thing should be applicable for teachers. They should have a therapy pool dedicated to doctors, teachers, and any other crisis service. I think that's just, and you can just go, you just rock up whenever you want, whenever you need to. That
would be nice.
But
my therapy
is make anyone enough money.
my teaching therapy is other student teachers or you who I cry to, and my friends, and other teachers that I know. But there's no actual like
structured.
That's not a
supervision.
No, that's not a thing.
But so needed.
But I'm very good about when I am struggling over something, I seek out those conversations with people. I'm pretty good about that. Like, especially with work. With work, what I'm struggling about with, like, if I have a specific student that I'm struggling with, I will seek out other teachers and talk to them. I will seek out administration, ask them questions. I'm pretty good about that, which has been very helpful. And it's also helpful for networking. So, like, it works in two ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it means that you don't have to face those situations alone. Right. You know that you can go get those supports in any capacity. But
because I always want to know
how to be you.
Yeah. I always want to know how to do better. Like, how can I do better? How can I help the students better? How can I support them? But also, how can I make things easier so that I'm not so stressed or, freaking out about whatever's going on. So, like, I'm always trying to make things better in my practice of being a teacher. And so then I'm like, well, I got to go talk to the experts or people who have more experience than I do or people who've dealt with this more than I have. So.
And that's also a sign of your own psychological maturity in not just trying to, but also not just trying to persevere. Like, that was me. I did not seek out sufficient supports. They were available to me to talk to the head teachers and ask them questions and do all that. And I didn't. And I burnt myself out because of it, because I was just like, no, like, I'm the teacher. I'm the one that has to deal with this. And I'm dealing with the worst year that school had and has had since that time.
Yeah.
And I soloed it.
Yeah.
Like, no, she did not have the cognitive process to know that it's okay to ask. But, like, I vent to my friends because I'm like, well, I'm so stressed. But it was all on me. It wasn't the kids. It was just I'm failing as a person when it wasn't that at all.
Yeah.
So it's like, when you're like, I reach out, I'm like, yes, I love you.
Oh yeah, no, because I always, but that comes with like coming into this career with a lot more experience just in general. You know, I'm 41 versus you were young when you went into teaching. So like it's a much different experience because I've already seen different, you know, I've already figured things out in a lot of ways for other parts of my life. So then I just applied it to teaching, and I've never been too afraid to ask. Well, I am too, I don't like asking for help, but I've gotten better at it as I've gotten older. That's just been a important learning experience for me. So,
and I also think you're really good at knowing what the right things to ask are, because that's also a big component of it. It's like you could be asking like, how do I help behaviors in the classroom, but really it's actually like, how do I navigate social dynamics, and like knowing what aspects to actually ask about. I feel like you're just really smart at that because you're a smart person. Like that's your lived experiences. You get that sort of stuff. You know where you're trying to navigate. You're self-aware enough to know that actually this is the thing that I'm struggling with that falls under this category, but it's this particular thing that's actually like I haven't quite got it.
Well, and then I'm just not afraid to do it. I think a lot of the student teachers that I was around that were much younger than I was are afraid to approach the admin or go approach other teachers. Or, you know, I saw another girl that she was doing her student teaching in the 4th grade. I talked to the counselor all the time about specific students because she's the one who would know the most. And then I would talk to the, you know, other teachers all the time. And so then when I was getting all the sub jobs, she was like, how come you're getting all the sub jobs? I'm like, I know all the teachers.
I know it worked.
Like I talk to them all the time. So then I'm the first person they think about. Not that they don't like you, just they don't know you. And so then I would get all
because
the
you kept to yourself. Yeah. Hey, it works.
That's like an experience thing, though. That's like not being afraid to talk to anybody. I'm not afraid to talk to the principal. I'm not afraid to talk to the vice principal. You know, like because I don't have this like they're a higher authority than I am, so I can't. Like
I'm going to talk to them because they are more experienced and I need their expertise.
Right. But I think that's an age thing. I think that's a difference in age.
100%.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, such a tangent.
So speaking of, people need therapy in this.
Sorry. Yeah, Mr. Ward needs therapy much earlier on.
I feel like I know Naomi said that she was in therapy and the diaries and all of that. But I also feel like Pip should have been in therapy with how hardcore she was to everything. Yeah, like she needed a safe space.
She needed some regulation on that or some way to balance herself because she wasn't balanced at all.
And I will say, from a teacher perspective, her EPQ, so yeah, in this it was called EPQ for the UK version, would have been disqualified. It directly says straight out of the gate, don't speak to the family. And she broke that. So in an academic sense, she would have been disqualified straight out of the gate.
For sure. Yeah.
In a fun, delightful little YA story. Fabulous. Have a grand time.
Yeah. Well, and putting herself in danger, that would disqualify it too.
100%.
Like, you can't. As
She's lucky she didn't go to jail for some of that.
No, she broke and entered. And stole things. She's a thief and a breaking and entering person. That's not. Breaking and entering her.
Someone still got summer brain right there. Breaking and entering her person. Can I be a breaking and entering her person?
You know, I'm a little worried I won't have my brain by the time school starts.
I reckon you will. It might just be a little you might be Internet Explorer.
I don't think you're that worried about it, Miss Hardest Reading Challenge ever on the face of the earth.
That's the thing. As I'm like, school? What school? I don't have to worry about working ever again. I'm just going to read and edit videos.
And make a lot of chaos.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, and I don't know what's going on with it. So, like, I just applied for a 5th grade leave replacement for half a year at a school in a district that I wasn't sure about, but I applied for it. And then I applied for 3 pools within Bellingham School District. And I mean, I just applied for the 5th grade positions, and it's not actually submitted to the school until my references get back to them, and my references haven't. I've only had one reference get back to them so far because everybody's on vacation. It's the holidays.
Yeah.
I mean, it's summer.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay. And then my Bellingham stuff for the local school district is in, but they haven't called anybody. I keep asking my other friend who's also, he just recently got out of the student teaching program too. And we have like a Discord for all of us previous in our little cohort, and nobody's hearing from the district. So like, I'm guessing that they won't be doing anything, if they do, until like a week or 2 weeks before the school year. And I'm like, you still have to interview us? You still have to like.
Mm-hmm.
So I have no clue. I'm probably gonna just be subbing this year.
I reckon you'll get calls those 2 weeks out, and you may know the day before school goes back.
And that's stressful because I have no clue what I would be teaching. Like, how can I prepare? What can I do? I can't prepare anything.
Nope. I just have a lot of like staples for each of the years.
I don't even have that.
What reference resources do you have from subbing and?
Oh, I mean, I have resources. I do have that kind of stuff. I just don't have like set.
You wouldn't. Yeah.
Anyways, well, okay. So let's talk about other stuff.
What do you think of their recreating the crime when they were stepping in Sal's shoes and they set the timer?
I would have liked a little more.
Oh.
Yeah.
What do you think, Danielle?
That was clever.
I want it to be a little, like, I liked that. I would like a little bit more of that, actually. What do you think?
Like, zoom, 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 zoom. I thought that was a great time. Like, I really enjoyed that they actually, but also, shouldn't the cops have done that? Is that something cops do?
Not in this town.
Okay. Okay.
Well, and
I don't know how the police force works, so I'm like, well, it could go any which way.
Wasn't the cop questionable?
Yes.
But he didn't end up having any.
Was, though.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Oh, yeah, that's the one that was the brother of the girl that Andy was awful
I think he's going to come back to play.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
Because his name like Daniel or something? I don't know.
Yeah, Daniel.
Silva, yeah.
Yes, no, I definitely think they'll come back to play.
I think so too. I mean, there was still some shady stuff that wasn't.
Yeah, I think the cops were working with a different time frame since the friends were forced to lie about when he left the house. Yeah, but I know, I think they were using the time frame that the cops gave, and they said he genuinely couldn't have done it in the time that they had said that he was doing it in.
Right.
Is that
right?
Going off the timestamp of 10:30. Oh, yeah. So
well, but yeah, they must have not walked it then. The cops walked it and said, "It's not possible."
Seems like a lot of negligence.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I genuinely feel like the cops are going to be the biggest thing in like the third book or something, where it's like, there has been so much that you've not actioned, like the whole Rohypnol thing and her reporting it and it not going anywhere. That's sus. Him getting angsty, but also the way that his wife reacted, being like, "Who's she?"
Oh yeah.
Like, I was like,
and she's young, so that's creepy.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was like. Wait a minute,
That's 17. Where I was starting to think that the inappropriate dynamic was more that way than. Yeah. And also she was like 9 months pregnant or 8 months pregnant, and it's like, this doesn't seem like pregnancy hormones. This seems like a long integrated shitty relationship and lack of communication.
Yes, she did not seem to like her husband much. For various specific reasons, which she made clear by suspecting Pip. Who is this?
What's happening?
Yeah.
And they made the ending bits even more wild. I'm already trying to forget it so it doesn't interfere with reading the next books.
Oh, the show. Okay.
Yeah. That's
Are you either of you interested in? No, Paige, no, Danielle, watching the show.
I might watch it. I don't know.
Not
I'm
want to.
undecided.
Mine will depend on. I think I'll read all 3, and then I might.
Oh
If I
yeah,
do.
that kind of sounds
But
like
also,
a
like,
plan.
Mm-hmm.
I don't watch TV, so
Yeah, I have
the
that
likelihood
problem
of that.
also.
Yeah, it's like I want to watch Why Women Kill. I think it's a TV show, and it's got Jennifer Goodwin in it. I love her as an actress, but then I don't. But I want to, but I don't. And I'm like, what? So, like, something I'm less excited for, but wanting to do the comparison whilst it's still relatively fresh as well. I'm like, yeah. But also, will I? Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I wonder if because I'm not as invested now into the story, I am enjoying it, but I'm not like I'm not worried about ruining my feelings about the story. Then maybe I'd be more inclined to watch it.
Mm.
I don't know. But
I don't know.
nobody's saying anything good about it. I haven't heard
No.
anybody say anything good about it.
Yeah. I'd be curious to watch Abby's videos, but I don't know. I don't know. And like, I don't care if I spoil myself for the show with like the other plot points that were added in, because that's fine. I don't really care about spoilers in TV shows and the like. Movies and deaths, yes, but TV shows,
I'm still much more interested in Discovery of Witches shows, so I'd rather watch that.
Yeah.
It's not as easy to get a hold of.
It's
not as...
Maybe that would be cute if we could find like a way of multi-streaming it and then do like a little BookStara movie night thing.
I feel like I started watching it. Maybe I just like couldn't get into it, or I thought it was like a poor representation. I don't know.
I have heard a little bit of that. Yeah.
I didn't finish it.
It's always better watching things as a group anyway.
That's true.
And reading.
Yes. I was very excited to hear opinions on this. Sorry that mine were so strong. I didn't want to ruin anybody's experience.
No, it's okay.
I think it's just, so interesting because we all had fun with it.
Mm-hmm. Well, most of us.
It reminds me, remember how...
Not Casey.
Well, I can't really say this because it's spoilers for Jade Legacy. But, like, I'll say it in a way that nobody can understand what I'm saying except you, Amy, and Paige. So, remember that thing that you were so frustrated with about Jade Legacy? Like, that thing that didn't get, like...
Oh, yeah.
Resolved in the way you wanted it to? Like,
Yep.
this reminds me a little bit of that. But, yeah, yeah. It's adorable because you get like fixated on like one thing, and it's like, nope.
That's me.
Nope.
Like, nope.
This
that
is
was
not
okay.
This is not working for me.
This has not followed the logical train of events that it was supposed to in the way that made me the happiest. So harumph.
Yeah. Right. And so and reading is subjective, right? So obviously if I want something to go a certain way, it's not necessarily going to go that way, but I'm still going to want it to go that way.
Yeah.
That's funny. And for a lot with my whole situational dynamic of being the devil's advocate for this particular character the entire time.
Yeah.
And it hindered, it changed my rating, but it was still a fantastic time.
Mm-hmm.
And
you two were both like,
woo! To be fair, like, the roles have been reversed in the past, okay?
Oh, for sure.
Oh,
yeah, you're right. No, it's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
And there's
for sure it's true.
Like, with everything that we've read.
I quit this read along. I'm done with this.
That's fair. Yeah. I find it interesting that you and I didn't have as much of an issue with that particular family dynamic as we do have with the teacher dynamic.
That is interesting because I'm like
we're both a lot more lenient for family dynamic than this one. What does that say about us?
The best is best.
That's forever on your channel page.
I'm sure there's worse on there somewhere, but oh dear lordy.
I only said I could some pages. Don't unsubscribe to me, everybody. I'm joking. It means like unsubscribe.
It was nearly at 2,450. Oh, that's so funny. I'm gonna quickly check if anyone had unsubbed.
They did not. Not for that.
Not yet. Wait, let's go 7 days.
I know I'm joking.
We're good. We're good. Oh dear. Oh lordy.
Just so everybody knows, we don't actually think that. But apparently
No.
it doesn't bother us as much as yeah, well, you know.
I think also I went in knowing that was the thing. I knew what was happening.
Right.
Yeah.
Whereas for this, I didn't.
I mean, people have trigger warnings for a reason, right? So some triggers are worse for others and I guess that other one wasn't as bad for me as the teacher stuff, but that's because I'm a teacher. Like,
it's really, really uncomfortable thinking about it from a personal, professional capacity.
Yeah. And because I think of students as my like they're babies. They are babies. They're even the older
teeny
ones,
tiny
they're
little
babies.
things.
And you're nurturing them. You want them to be healthy and happy, and you feel very protective of them. So like the idea of anybody taking advantage of them is horrifying.
Sickening.
Yeah, it's disgusting. So I think I have a much more personal experience with it because I see these kids every day and I invest so much of my energy and time into them. And that's why I know that, like, because it's mandatory reporting, like if I ever come across stuff, I'm just going to be horrified. I don't want to, I don't, it's just,
no thanks.
You do form attachments to these kids.
It's like, I'm tapping out. I can't.
Yeah. It's hard.
Yeah. But also, we don't condone the other thing either.
No, absolutely not.
We're just apparently more lenient with it in a fictional context.
Sorry.
Oh, lordy. So the next comment is from Amber saying, yeah, the mixed media made me try to figure out who done it and normally don't in mystery thrillers. I think it was a really engaging book and the mixed media was just, I love mixed media, so I know it's not going to work for everyone, but for me, it was just like perfect use of it to keep me going in.
Yeah.
And make it feel more authentic as well.
That was like, for me the whole time, I'm like reading and I'm like, okay, I got to keep reading to see if I'm right. Okay, wait, I just changed my theory. Okay, I got to keep reading to see if I'm right. Okay, wait, I just changed my mind again. And like,
yeah,
but I still got to see if I'm right.
Log, it was like, do you change your mind with her?
Yeah.
And I do like that because I feel like a lot of mysteries, either I can figure it out or it's too convoluted that I never have the opportunity to figure it out. Whereas this, it was fun to follow along and change our opinions and change, like, like it felt like
I liked that part a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
That she just kind of like kept giving us like enough little nuggets and breadcrumbs to like, I liked being strung along. Said no woman ever.
I think looking back on it, I appreciate it. It like I said at the beginning, it felt like a 3.5, but I gave it a 4. And after our discussion, I feel more solidly in the 4-star camp because looking back at it, I see how well they navigated all of the different plot points, all of the different red herrings, but also all of the actual things.
Yeah, like what you were saying, like about the paintings and about the old lady saying that she saw
full circle.
Yeah. And like you were pointing out some really, really good things that showed how well thought out it was, you know?
Yeah, it's a quality writing in that capacity.
Yeah.
They have followed through with it from the beginning.
Yeah.
And whilst I'm mad at the direction that it went, because I just, no, thank you, not my vibe.
Right.
And some of it at the ending got very outlandish for just me personally. I can see it. I can see that, and I can look back on it, and it's not hard to find it.
Mm-hmm.
Like talking about breakfast, and I didn't like the way he was eating. I could find the scene where he got introduced pretty quickly. And it was all there. It's all plotted exceptionally well. Yeah. And I think when I initially finished it, I was like, I'm just horrified. I can't think. I don't like this. I'm sad. But now I'm like, okay, actually taking the quality of it, and it's written for teenagers.
Mm-hmm.
Taking that into consideration. It's written like a teenager would speak, and hopefully not do, but I'm sure they'd think about doing it.
The whole thing of her like trying to figure out who was the drug dealer at the party, like she was just some about blasting a roach or something. I was rolling.
That was
hilarious.
Just rolling.
That was hilarious. Yeah.
But also then the guy, like, I think for me, that scene is a really good example of the whiplash that I got throughout it, because she didn't take herself seriously, but then next this guy is trying to like sexually assault her. And I'm just like, hold on, wait a sec. What? Where? What is our tone? And I think that is where my biggest thing came into it, because whilst it was plotted exceptionally, the tone of it didn't follow suit. Like, you need to have lighthearted moments in serious books, and you need seriousness in complete comedies. Otherwise, it's not going to.
There's no balance.
Work. Yeah. But I felt like it just went 180 too often between the two, rather than just slowly increasing and then slowly dipping down. But also, life is 180, so I got to take that into consideration. Like, how many times have you been to a party and you're like chatting up someone and go, actually, you know what, I'm not feeling this, and then next minute they're like being a dick, and it's like, fuck off. It happens.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, I almost saw it as like the perspective that we were getting. I just felt like it was almost like a true reflection of like Pip and how she interprets the world, and like, you know, maybe even like how her brain, you know, goes from one thing to the other. I don't know. Right. For me, it felt like more organic than what you're describing.
I felt, but that also could be the fact that I was listening to the audiobook on 2.25.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I literally was speeding through it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of, do we think Pip's autistic?
I think she's gifted. I mean, like,
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because I definitely agree that she is straight A, works hard to get those grades. But it's just the way that she would tunnel vision into it, not really thinking outside of her box. Like, she would think outside the box, but she couldn't think outside her own box and her own. Once she made the connections, just like, right, that's got to be that, unless it's proven otherwise. Which, like, I don't think it's intentional, and I don't think Holly Jackson would intend for it. You know, you could have definitely written it more autistically coded.
Right.
And intentionally so. But it's one of those things that I'm like, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Natalie. I didn't pick it up, but I mean, she definitely has the hyper focus, and it could have been an unintentional thing that, like, the way her character behaves could be similar to someone who does have autism would behave.
It's just one of those thoughts that randomly knocked into my noggin. I'm like, actually, I could see that.
I mean, her hyper focus is, I mean, to the point where she just completely gives up everything else.
Yeah.
She wasn't taking care of herself. She wasn't doing all the things she needed to do with her life.
Mm.
I don't know.
And that's some of the things that just it's like
Mm-hmm.
And obviously being ADHD, I related to a lot of her, which pissed me off and also caught me out. Because it's true. Like, I think back to my teenage self and I'm like, whilst I probably wouldn't be a breaker and enterer
person. Breaker and enterer
I
person.
definitely could have seen myself doing a lot of this stuff. Just if that had have been my focus, if I had have chosen to dedicate my life to solving crime, I definitely don't have an ethical compass in any way, shape, or form aside from it pointing south. So, I don't know.
Yeah, so maybe it was an unintentional thing by Holly Jackson, but
I'd say
with her personality. Definitely.
Yeah, it's kind of nice to sort of be able to pick up on those vibes and make it feel that little bit relatable as well.
Absolutely. I mean, it's nice to be able to relate to characters, even when it's in the annoying ways.
It's in that there was a lot of stuff that wasn't sorted or spoken about in therapy.
Yeah, because I was like, oh, this girl, like she is gonna get into so much trouble.
I think that also as a teacher, because this was a whole school project thing, like made it very difficult to get behind because we heard like a couple of chapters in and they're like, you need to be careful with where you're going with this.
But that was chosen. Yeah.
That was the only teacher interference the entire time until they're making it a whole fucking school production. It's like, absolutely not.
It's great that you put yourself in harm's way and almost died for this. Let's make a production of it.
Let's get some jazz hands.
And then I come from the perspective of like, okay, that reinforces his bad behavior for other students. So yeah,
100%.
I think about things as a teacher, I guess. Oh, I'm ruining my own reading experiences.
You're ruining your own YA reading experiences.
Exactly.
So I had like the conflict of the teacher self, critiquing the actual, like, where is the rubric for this? What are the actual goals of this EPQ? None of these have been specified. So how do you know that she's actually doing the assignment correctly if you want me to grade it? But then also, holy shit, she's teenage Paige just going on a rampage towards this. And oh my God, I wish most of that component of my personality was buried. Fuck. Like, interesting dynamic to experience.
Well, and the fact that she was the student that gets like straight A student, does every single assignment, does everything right. She's like perfect daughter, student, and yet she was so quick to do so many illegal things in this and lie to her family. And I'm like, that's not what goody two-shoes normally do.
But good girl, bad blood.
Yeah.
Now she's got a taste for the dark side.
Where is this book gonna go? Like, where's the story gonna go? What direction? What direction?
I'm so lucky I caught that sentence halfway out of my mouth. This is going to sound horrible. It's fine if you unsubscribe. I have full respect. But damn, I hope she gets some PTSD from the Rehypnol. Like, I need her to have consequences to the actions. And that is a fucking traumatic experience. I need to see her grow from that. I need her to not just go, la, 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 everything's fine. I'm perfectly normally stable. Again. Yeah. I need to see some growth from that. Maybe not to the extreme of having an actual diagnosable PTSD, but like something.
I'm looking forward to the rant review.
She's like listening to some like audio file of Mr. Ward and like playing the same clip, like the same sentence, like over and over at the beginning of this.
Maybe Mr. Ward is not actually. Maybe I'm right.
He's saying it's such a tragedy what happened in the end.
That's
She'd listened to it maybe 100 times. Doesn't that sound about right?
Is that what you were writing? Like what you read the beginning of Good Girl Bad Blood?
Yeah,
Oh, it's
maybe
gonna get
even
creepy.
1,000.
That's gonna get creepy.
I am so excited. Oh my gosh. What if I just completely derail and like pick it up right now? Would that be fine?
good. Yeah, it'll be fine.
And it just surprised me. Okay, so it wasn't even. I mean, obvious. Okay, poor Paige. Like everybody's gonna unsubscribe to you because hopefully everybody's not mad at me for the thing I joked earlier. I guess I don't really mean it. Like it's not just the Andy thing with Mr. Ward. It also pissed me off that he would kill his student that he loved. He loved that student. That student loved him. They had such a camaraderie, and he killed him so like
Easily.
Yeah, that. So it wasn't just the cinnamon roll aspect of him sleeping with the girl. It was also the lack of
Murderous intent.
Right, the fact that it was so easy for him to murder. And I think that's why I was so happy to see that it wasn't so easy for Becca to murder, because I'm like, how could this teacher who just says, oh, I made one mistake, so easily kill one of his favorite students who he cared about so much? And he did it pretty easily. Like, it didn't seem that he had lost much sleep over it. And yet we saw from Becca's situation that she couldn't do it. She had her hands around Pip's neck and she was choking her, and she's like, no, I can't do it. Like,
yeah. No, I got myself confused. Yep.
I'm just saying, like that. I think that's why I liked seeing that Becca couldn't actually kill Pip, because I'm like, murder's not that easy. You know, actually committing murder's not that easy. And so, I mean, like maybe it is physically, but
Becca
mentally and
got thrown
emotionally.
off her.
No,
Robbie
she
grabbed
stopped.
her.
But at first she stopped. She's like, I can't do it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, cool. I'm caught up. Yeah.
Not Andy, Becca. Becca, when she was choking Pippa, she was choking her, and then she stopped and she said, I can't do it. She's like, I'm not really a murderer. She wasn't. The situation with Andy, she didn't murder Andy.
But, yeah, cool.
She's talking about who Mr. Ward killed.
Oh, yeah. Sal. Did I say Ravi? I'm sorry if I'm very confusing everybody. Sal, when I should not be doing this when I have no brain. Sal's Mr. Ward killing Sal so easily.
Yeah.
Like that also devastated me because of what I said before about being a teacher and creating relationships with your students. It wouldn't be easy to emotionally kill somebody. That's just, if you're not a murderer, it's not easy to do.
And he didn't intentionally kill Andy.
No, he
so
didn't. Why
it was an accident. So then how can you intentionally, 100%.
Yeah.
And if you're that selfish to like protect yourself and protect your kid, I suppose we could look at it from a parent perspective as well, because he did say that he was making sure that he could be there for his girls. He had upset with their mum being dead.
It's one
parents
thing to kill
do
somebody who's
stuff.
It's one thing to kill somebody who's attacking your children. Like
True.
that is completely different than killing somebody who you genuinely care about to protect the future of your children.
Yeah,
I think. Maybe I'm wrong.
No,
I'm not a parent, so let's ask the resident parent.
Parent, would you kill someone?
Okay. I don't really think like this applies, because he wouldn't have had to kill anybody if he wasn't doing the thing with Andy in the first place.
Yeah.
Or I said he wouldn't have had to kill anybody. He wouldn't have felt like he had to kill anybody.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, there's a difference between killing somebody who's trying to attack your children or who has physically hurt your children versus killing somebody to keep your children's future safe. Like, keep them from dealing with you being imprisoned. Isn't there?
Yeah, but like for me also, yes, their future is going to change because you're currently locked away in prison, and they're going to face backlash from the community like the Things, but because they're white, they're not actually going to. But they can still get their education. They can still keep going to school. They need to go to therapy, but one's already in there. But their lives aren't going to be over if you're in prison. You know, like they have their aunt, they have a close family. So for me, it doesn't really, it's not really justifiable enough to murder.
Doesn't equate. No.
Right. No, that's why I'm just like.
It's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, that didn't make Mr.
Murder
Ward.
is never the answer, friends.
No, it's not.
I'm glad you said that because I would have forgot to have said it. We are both part of Suffer-a-thon.
Even though now I'm thinking about my TBR game. Let's not think about what the TBR game is called. Okay.
I love it.
I think that was the other part of the rug getting pulled out under me from.
Are you okay?
The brain is misfiring multiple times.
Yeah. I think that was the other part of the rug getting pulled out from underneath me with Mr. Ward. It wasn't just his inappropriate relationship. That was awful. But it was also how easily he killed Sal.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I didn't even say, I never said that before. I didn't even think about that until now, that affected me not just as much. I mean, yeah, it does. It's murder.
As deeply. Yeah.
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 He was a bad dude.
He was a really bad dude, apparently.
Didn't save it. At least he wasn't it wasn't Ravi. It wasn't you know, now I'm having misfires. Like going back to Greenbone, at least it would be like Lamb doing
Yes.
that.
Yes.
It's just no. He'd ask someone else to do it for him.
Yeah.
And I don't think Lamb would be afraid to get his hands dirty. But it's not the go-to answer.
Right.
And especially as a teacher. That's no. It's just so interesting.
I guess I'm
really
not going to let it go.
We'll see where the second one goes.
I'm very curious. I'm very, very curious.
Is anyone reading the prequel?
Isn't that a Christmas? Isn't it kind of Christmassy?
It's a book day.
It's a Christmas.
50 pages.
Yeah, it's small. Maybe I should read that for as a quick little short one for this readathon. If you know, I'm not a fast reader, so
Right.
Anything will help.
The size of it.
Yeah. Oh, you have it?
No, but that's the.
Oh yeah, okay. Oh, I see that little. Yeah. Okay.
In comparison to that.
Yeah. It's little.
Yeah, little. Well. Yes.
Probably because I hate not finishing full series. How do we get it? Is it on the website or something like that?
I'm not sure. Sorry, I missed this a while ago, but enjoy dinner. And
yeah, I mean, if we're reading all those other things, book, I probably want to read Killjoy also.
Yeah, and I don't think it will take long.
In fact, I'm putting it on my want to read now.
Yeah. And Nat also just talked about their therapy experience as well with trying to get in. Faking it till you make it doesn't work. And their therapist is great and does telehealth. See if she accepts. And then having a lesbian cat lady as a therapist is great.
That's cute.
I love that.
That's really cute.
They tried getting in with one in 2020 and couldn't find anyone. Then it took till 4 years later when things got really bad to start the process again. Access is incredibly important.
And I know that COVID made things really difficult because it was around COVID that I was,
trying.
Mm-hmm.
But also, it still just doesn't
I'm
seem
proud
right.
of you for trying again.
Me too.
Don't give up.
Thank you.
And yeah, maybe message Nat if you want a lesbian cat lady therapist, because that sounds hilarious, and I don't have one of those to offer.
Oh, well then, Paige, I'm not interested.
I have a cat lady social worker, but she's not a lesbian. I've had to put a tissue around it so it stops leaking.
Your chin from leaking?
Yes, it's very rude. I'm gonna have to bounce soon because Mum and I are doing stuff for my granddad's 90th this afternoon.
Yay!
And then I've got my anniversary lunch tomorrow with everyone. So my family's
well, I think we've done. Honestly, I think we've done. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
You good? You good?
I was gonna say I think we've done a really good job of alienating everybody with really inappropriate comments today.
We're really good at that. That's like our forte.
BookStara Readalongs.
Woo! Highly inappropriate now and forever. Come to us if you want to be mentally disturbed.
I mean, it was relevant. It tied one of our old series that we read in with our new series that we're reading.
And it is true. I think the only series that we have all universally loved, every single component of it, was the Lunar Chronicles.
Woo! Yeah.
Just thinking on it,
one.
Every other series has had mixed reviews, or still relatively interesting or positive.
Yes.
But I think the Lunar Chronicles was the only one that we've all had similar, unanimous, sort of very close ratings for every book in it.
Agreed. I totally agree.
Paige, did you see Emily Fox give The Bone season 2 stars?
Yeah, I did. That was quite funny.
Yes.
She found Paige very juvenile, I think. I can't remember her exact way, but she's like, oh, the second that Jackson was introduced, I knew he was going to be the love interest, and just, ugh. I'm like, no, keep going.
Well.
Oh, Leanna wasn't part of the cool kids then, but you are now.
Yep, that's all that matters. You're part of the cool kids now.
That the cool kids are not us, but yes, you're a part of them.
Speak for your own self.
We have a cool kid.
A cool kid, yeah. Couldn't get into the last one. You just did. I'm kind of liking this one, and the chat was great. Chaotic as usual.
Green Bone Saga.
Green
Mom,
Bone.
it was a bit. She's been having a hard time with. We were talking about adult fantasy in general lately. Just too much. So
the Green Bone Saga was a lot.
It was a lot.
It was.
I agree.
Like the fact that I made it through that is a miracle. Yeah,
it was a lot.
And I think it's interesting because is your mom struggling with Hob?
She tried to pick up. What's the first one in the Tawny Man trilogy that I loved? Like that was my favorite book of all time of the series.
Fool's Errand. That's
Fool's Errand. I loved it so much. Mom tried to pick it up and she could not. She could not get into it at all.
Oh my
and it does start slow, but I loved how it started because it was very nostalgic. You come back to all these stories and you reminisce on stuff that had happened previously, and that was like for me.
Yeah.
But Mom was not having it. So she's not even enjoying Hob right now. So I think it's just adult fantasy just not working for Mom right now, which is fine.
Cool. That was sort of
she may come back around to it.
Yeah.
If she's not vibing with Hob, I wonder if it's more the Mafia side or if it's more the just chunky, heavy-duty stuff.
It might be both for Green Bone Saga. Although it's funny because when she was reading the first book, she didn't finish Jade City. When she was first reading it, she was totally into it and she was reading really fast. And then all of a sudden she stopped and she didn't pick it up again. And she's just like, oh, I'm just not feeling it. But I was like, but I was watching you while you're reading it and you were totally into it then. But it's the putting it down and not wanting to get back into it. Like, and that's
her mind's just been overtaken.
Mail.
Yeah. Yes, and Amy was depressed how that mail ended.
Which one?
Jade Legacy.
Oh, that was my thing I couldn't let go.
Yeah.
Not to say anything. We just did.
No.
I just did.
But
Don't listen,
we
sermon
didn't
guy.
put through details.
Yes.
But yeah, like it's how it goes.
I just finished Soul Eater, which is male.
I
Woo!
Soul Eater.
Super smutty, and it was fantastic.
I
might get through my own
remember
mail.
Natalie liking those.
Yeah, I get through my own mail phase. Good job, Leanna.
Oh my goodness!
How'd you feel, Leanna? Because I know that you
Do you
have
need
not been loving the
consoling?
series.
Do you need a hug?
Did she comment on? No.
It doesn't look to me at the moment. Woo! Oh my lordy.
I know that Leanna wasn't enjoying the series so much in general, so I was curious.
She's such a trooper.
She's a trooper. Yeah. You know, I think we all go through phases when it comes to reading too, you know. There's times when certain things are really, like, you really feel like reading certain things, and there's times when you don't.
Mm-hmm.
And then trying to force yourself to read them is not helpful.
Oh, here we go.
4 stars, and I thought the writing greatly improved, but not a fave, and probably won't reread.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, yeah. The chances of me rereading that, very slim.
Oh, I
very slim.
Huh? It is not right away.
Yes, please.
I'll reread them.
It's Mama Kim. Hi, ladies.
Hello.
Oh, for once, instead of Mama Shazza, it's Mama Kim.
Hi, Mama Kim.
Mama Kim's making me a cup of tea.
It's a Mama Fitz.
Mama Fitz. That's a Mama Danielle.
Yep.
Very nice. Yeah, we've got a lot of stuff to do.
Yeah, fun.
Well, we should go.
This has been wonderful.
Yeah, I love you both so much. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. And
have an awesome rest of your day.
Go Team Literary Punksters.
Go Pongsters. Good
Go
Girl Bad
Pongsters.
Blood will be happening in September.
If Danielle doesn't crack it and need to read it earlier.
I can be patient. It's fine.
Yeah, some for September.
Yeah.
If anything changes, please join the Discord and we will keep you updated.
Like, Amy, I feel like if you went ahead and made the channels, there's a low-key possibility that some people might just go ahead and
maybe I should
pop in their thoughts.
Right. Bye, Sandy. Bye, Stacey. Shazza, bye. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
We'll see you in September.